Page 76, Mighty Lak arose. There's words to this, it's a song, but this is an interesting arrangement. Let's look it over. It's a page and a half long. Treble bass clef, one flattened key signature. This is in the key of F major, so be doing the scale for F major and D minor. Go ahead and do the arpeggios also. Now keep in mind when I say do the scale or arpeggio or whatever, how much of it you do depends on where you are and how well you're getting it. If you don't know the scale, you only go one octave. If you don't know the arpeggio, you only go one octave. If you can do the scale okay, then you go 2 octaves. Same with the arpeggio. And if you're really getting comfortable with that, then you can try the 4 octaves, but don't go 4 octaves until you're very comfortable with 2 octaves. It's just a waste of time, unless you really, really, really love doing scales and arpeggios. And common timer, 4/4 times. Take it one hand at a time. I have some fingering suggestions. Sometimes these songs, these vocal songs, they don't really fit on the fingers real well, so we have to see what we can do about it. Right hand, it's 2-1, you're crossing over. Because we need to cover all this area, and we don't have enough fingers, so we're just going to cross over the thumb here. And then 1, 3, 5, hold this down, and then come again, second finger, and then this 4th finger, you're just coming up here. Hold the half notes down, and then with 3rd finger again. No. I'm going to rearrange this a little bit, make it a little easier or less difficult, whichever. So for now, in that 3rd measure, don't play the half note D, leave it out. So it's, and then just go on with 2, but then use 4th finger on the last note in that measure. That puts us in position for the next measure. It's a 2-3, I recommend. They say 2-4, but I'm using 4, so I'm going to use 3. Hold the quarter notes down, and then here. And in that 4th measure, at the end, that was a half note. Hold them down as you're doing that. It's a bit of a struggle. Yes, I know it is, but that's music for you. And then you do it again. And then in measure 7, same thing. Leave out the D. And here you're going to have to 4, 5. This puts you in position to go on to the next measure. And I prefer this if you can for the measure 8. Or here. Yeah, tricky. Okay, page 77. At the top, you have 2 voices going on, and the top voice is kind of harmony. But then you got another voice going on that's sort of harmony. And you got them going together, and then they stick in another voice. It's here. That's fine. It's not the best, but okay. And then measure 11, a 1. And then here, 3, 5. And then 2 again. And then here, F natural now. Oh, let's look at that. Measure 12. What is this mess? Well, the first one is B flat with a D. And then you got an F sharp on top. And now you have an F natural and a G. Now a G sharp and an E. See, the bottom note's a B. We'll just do it. And then here. See, when the bottom note's the same, focus on the others. Just play the B. In measure 13, you got 2 voices. The half note, hold them down, and the top voice, the 8th notes. And then here, I want to try and connect these 8th notes if I can. I can't connect the bottom note too well, the half notes, but the 8th notes I want to connect. And I'm holding the half notes down. And then you're back to like you were at the beginning. Let's see what the left hand's got going here. It's just broken chords, actually. And if you don't want to do that, you got to do that. Again, I don't know how big your hands are. But if you can, go ahead and do the fingering in the bow. of page 77, chords again. So you got to figure them out. This is an F chord, D minor chord, and then a G minor chord. And a C is chord, and a hit this chord, and that chord, and everybody's chord. Okay, now for measure 13, I recommend a 3-2-1 here. This way I'm ready for the next chord. Same thing, next measure. Now you come down. Now measure 16, finger it however you want to. I do it 2 here. And then here. I want to connect this here. So, and hold the half note down, of course, and then you're back like you were at the beginning. Okay, put the hands together and see what we get. Now I'm going to hesitate, that's fine. I just want to know how the fingers are working together. You've got these, these, and these. And then again. And the third measure. And this is why I told you to leave out the D. We're going to use that half note D, we're going to play it in the left hand, because it's there. Because I got these notes, I can add that D to it. Just as easily, I can add that D. It's going to be it's a 4-2-1 on that fingering then. Because I have to hold the D down as I play that. Here, I'm going to help the right hand out. I do this a lot in music. See, some teachers won't teach this. They say, oh no, if that note is in the upper staff, the right hand has to play it. There's no rule says that. If it's more convenient for you to have one hand help the other, go for it. And that third measure, we're here. I can do that. There. I'm like that. I'm just. But I'm playing that with the left hand because the fingering. Now with this. Yuck. I'm going to connect it. So I'm going to let the left hand help. There. I got to hold these down. And then do it again. And then I'll measure 7, same thing. I'll these little notes in the left hand, I'll come back to those. Right now, just play the. Let the left hand come up here and play that note. Just make sure you hold it down. Then come down. Top page 77. Figure out what the chords are and where you're going to go. Next line, hold half notes down. So I can't connect the half notes, but I am connecting the eighth notes with the fingers here. Yeah. So I get the hands put together, and then I'll go back over just a couple measures or so at a time, and I'll get rid of the hesitations. Now with a song like this, you have to look down at the keyboard because you're moving. But eventually, you'll develop a feel for these movements and these distances, and you won't even have to look down at the keyboard. Even that left hand at the top of page 77, you just know where these keys are. You don't even have to look at the keyboard. It's just, you just know eventually. You have to look at first, but you'll get to the point where you won't have to. And that helps. Now, once I have the hesitations out of the way, I'll think about the articulation and these extra little notes that are sticking in here. This is pretty connected. And they don't say anything for the left hand, but I suggest you go ahead and connect it if you can. You can do the best you can. Now on measure 7, these little notes. Different people will interpret these differently. Now, if these are 16th notes, I'm going to play them as 16th notes. So it's here. So I'm going to play the first one on the beat. So, and then the 8th note, or that comes with here. It's played more like an eighth note. Now, some people will play them before the beat, so it's so they'll do it that way. They'll cut this a little short too, so they can get in there. Short. But I play them on the beats, how I was taught in college. There is a way to notate them if you want them before the beat, but I play them on the beat, so it's here. The fermata, I measure 16. The left hand, just hang on to that extra. If I do it with a metronome, I'll just hold that quarter note 2 counts instead of 1. The right hand just hangs on as long as it needs to stay together. And then you go on. Now at the bottom, I'll measure 23. I'm going to do those notes the same way. And then the last measure, this note, real quick note. It's not a 16. It's an actual grace note, just real quick. And some people will play it before the beat. Here, I was taught to play it on the beat. That's what I do. There. And that last note, that curved line, arpeggiated, just a boom, not rhythmic, just. And again, I play the bottom note on the beat. Some people would play the top note on the beat. I don't. I was taught to do it on the beat, so I do. And that last fermata, you hang that up or hold on to that as long as you think is right. Again, with a metronome, I'll just keep that quarter note down 2 counts instead of 1. Just stay with the metronome. So I put in the articulation. This is pretty connected. There is phrasing. If you want to lift up for the phrasing, if you can figure out where it is, fine, lift up. The left hand, I would suggest you connect it as best you can. You can't, but do what you can. And then the dynamics. Apply to the melody. It's the right hand, moderately soft. You go to moderately loud and back down. Go up there and then back down. That's moderately loud. Now here. Now, no. I disagree with the dynamics there in measure 4. I'm already moderately loud. I don't want to get loud. No. Somewhere in measure 3, I got to come down so I can go back up. Or I'm not going to do the swell. Actually, what we want to do in measure 4 is we want to feel the movement. So we do want to go on up to here. So the half note is a little stronger than that, but it's very slight. But I would not go up to loud here. I'd come down and go back up. So third measure, moderately loud. Come down. And then go. And then come back down, do it again. You got to let the music tell you what to do here. Sometimes they don't really put these hairpins where they belong and things. Yeah. So let the music tell you how this is interpretation. I measure 9, you're moderately loud in the right ear. You're staying basically moderately loud for the line until next line. Now you're soft. These are very soft. And then measure 17, you're back like you were at the beginning. Then the speed. Simply, well, that doesn't help much. It's a nice stroll. This, just a nice, it's kind of an andante feel. Do you get the idea? There is a ritardando in measure 4, slow it down. Don't slow down very much, just a little bit. And then the odd tempo measure 5 means take off again. And then again on measure 8, there's a slow down. It says a little slow down. To me, The little bit of slowdown belongs on measure 4. And this could be a little more of a slowdown. So I think measure 4 should say poco rit. And this should say rit. However, that's interpretation. And then an odd tempo for measure 8 again. So you're back to where you are. Until you get to measure 16, another slow down. The odd tempo. And then you retard at the end. Okay, goody. Now, we need something to help us out on this because it's too choppy and it's too clean. And so the pedal is going to help us connect these notes here. It's also going to give us some overtones because this is slow enough. People have time to hear everything. And it's nice to have the overtones when that happens. It's going to be legato pedal, lag pedal, syncopated pedal, whatever you want to call it. The notes go down first and then the pedal. And when I change the pedal, it's after I play the notes. And I'm changing the pedal with the harmony. I have to be careful because I don't want to smear up the melody. So we have to watch out for that. First, we'll try what's in the book, and then we'll see. Now, at the bottom of measure 5, underneath the score, it says ped sim. That means pedal sim. It means keep pedaling the way you've been doing it. And then if they want something different, they'll put in the pedal indication. But again, we got to listen carefully. So what is it doing? Well, at the beginning, it's here. Changing. Here, between measures 2 and 3, they're lifting up for the phrasing. But I'm going to connect this left hand. But here, it's a new phrase, so lift the pedal up. Now, measure 8, you're pretty much changing it on beat. I'll have to do that sometimes when the harmony changes. All different chords, so I change the pedal accordingly. The melody here at the beginning. Now, to me, that's too much. That's too blurry. I don't like it. So what I might do here is on the first beat, at the beginning, I can get rid of some of that by not pedaling the first eighth notes. There, it takes out a little bit of blurriness. And on the third measure, I didn't pedal the fourth beat because this, I didn't want all that. So I cleaned it out. And on the fourth measure, I pedaled it the same way as measure 8. Every beat. Just to keep it kind of clean. And then lift up and go on. It's a new phrase. Same way. Lift up, so we get a little silence to go on. So now measure 9. Change, then here. So in measure 10, they didn't pedal beat 2. Well, I can't connect those. I want to connect them. So what I'm going to do is simply change the pedal. Here, on beat 1, change it on beat 2, so I can connect them. Same thing on measure 16, change it on beat 2. I want to connect them. And then measure 17. That's fine. If you want to hear the 2 note slurs, you gotta lift the pedal up. If you do the technique for 2 note slurs, down, up, but if you don't want to hear the silence, then you like it. this, I lift the pedal up on. I don't want both of these. I don't want them. So here, and then lift out. And then you go on. That's basically the pedal. I'm altering it places where it's too muddy for me, or I want to connect things, or listen to the sound. Now, some teachers will say, you pedal it like it's shown. Don't ask questions, just pedal it like it's shown. My problem is this is just somebody's impression of this, somebody's opinion, somebody's interpretation of it, and it's not necessarily the only way it can be done. I would prefer you be a critical thinker and decide for yourself how you want to hear it or what you want it to sound like. And experiment with the pedal. Leave the pedal out sometimes. Is that okay? Or change it or something to, like in the first measure, you're thinking, well, why pedal it? We want the whole chord all the time, and we have to have the pedal for that. We got it all. We want it all, but we don't want to smear the eighth note too much. You know, that's just yucky. So I just lift it up on the fourth beat. That clears it out. And change it on the third beat. There, let's change it. And here. Now, don't copy me. It's just one way it can be done. Doesn't have to be done that way. You let the music kind of tell you and lead you on your interpretation. You got to get past the mechanics. You can't be thinking about notes and rhythms and all that junk. You're getting into the music. You're starting to feel the music. That's where the magic happens. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do louds and softs. I can't slow down because the metronome won't slow down. I'll do the pedaling as I suggested, just so you can see it, although you can hear it better without you can hear the notes better without the pedaling, but I'll go ahead and pedal it. Now, there are eighth notes all over the place, so I'm going to put the metronome on eighth notes, but I'll give us 4 quarter note counts to come in. 1 and 2 and ready and go and.